How are we? I'm not even sure I should be on here. The fucking mood I'm in these days. But I need some therapy, so I thought I would come on and take the piss out of Globe Disciples for a wee while. Throw some shit in their direction, because I feel like it and I can. And as I say, I'm not in a fucking very good mood. Quite the majority of the time, you know, for all you people that don't live in Scotland with your well wishes and your do this and do that and do the other, wonderful, until you live here. It's really difficult to remain positive in a situation like this. You know, just before I go into anything else, I'm going to get this off my chest. You know, we've had nothing but non-stop rain, dark, cold, and I'm talking 10 degrees. I had a conversation with Andrew, Execrate 200, the other day, and it was midnight for him. They're in the middle of their winter. Midnight, 8 degrees. I'm sitting here in Scotland, during the day, middle of summer, 10 degrees. So that gives you a clue as to how horrific it's been. So today we were promised, again, you know, I remember reading an article a few months ago about the Met Office or whatever getting so many millions invested new tech so that it can make it more predictable and more accurate. But, you know, the tech seems to fail them when it comes to Scotland, particularly this region. Because every time that they show us and say that it's going to be a dry day with sunshine, whoopsie, don't know how that happened, but we got it wrong. Another example, I mean, today, as I say, is supposed to be sunny and cloudy. But yeah, I got up this morning and check it, and it's raining. So I checked the weather app. Oh, yeah, it's raining to 11 o'clock now. Then 11 o'clock comes. Still raining. Check the weather app. Oh, it's raining to 3 o'clock now. Okay. 3 o'clock comes. Oh, it's raining to 6 o'clock now. What's the point in these people professing? Why are these people getting all this money and all this attention for tech and whatever else, and it's just utter bollocks? I could save them a fucking fortune. As I've said so many times before. Everybody in Scotland just assume that it's going to be miserable and pissing down every fucking day. Then we don't need to waste resources, energy, on anything. And if it's sunny, it's a bonus. But that's the other pattern right now. Because it's remained overcast all fucking day and raining. Now as we approach 8 o'clock at night, there's wee breaks in the sky starting to happen. What fucking use is that to anybody? What fucking use is a wee bit of sun at 8 PM? So, as I say, I've not been in the best of places recently, because I'm one of these people, you know, I've got all this privilege for, and rights for which sex you want to be, and who you want to shag, and who you want to marry, and what your skin colour is, and all this, that and the other. I want a fucking campaign for people who are affected by SAD, seasonal affective disorder. I've got rights. I'm being fucking crushed. I am being traumatised and tortured by the fucking miserable weather. Where's my recourse? Where's my campaign? Why have I not got access to go to countries where it's sunny and blue skies all the time to alleviate my disorder? Don't see any of that. Nah. We'll argue about each other about their skin colour and how many cocks and fannies you want to have and who you want to stick them in. Again, it's the same fucking problems, the same issues. Anybody that's been, you know, paying attention since the beginning, for me, you know, it's so fucking obvious what's going on. At the start of the coronavirus, I made predictions. I stated it. Look, I'm not saying I made predictions like I'm something special. I'm just saying it because that's what happened, right? It's so fucking obvious that the cattle are getting disgruntled. The old system, the ways that have been, the ways that it transpired from the industrial revolutions, that you know, that era, and how it went. People are getting disgruntled about it. People can see the corruption, the imbalance that's going on, right? So what happens when the cattle, the sheep start to get disgruntled? You need to start giving them this illusion that the bad doers and the corrupt people are going to be outed, and we're going to move forward into a new time with prosperity for all and new possibilities and all that rubbish. Listen to that. That's what happens to kids when they're stuck inside all the time. Freezing conditions in the middle of summer. They get demented. They start letting it out and scream. I wish I could just scream. Huh? It's no fair, is it? Being an adult, you can't get away with that shit. I'd love to just run out the back door and fucking scream blue murder to get rid of all the fucking frustration. So, it's the same rubbish again that people get caught up on. I see a lot of this QAnon shite, and you know, oh the goodness is coming and the bad evil people's just going away and whatever. You don't know where you are. Human beings really, really need to fucking run it back right to the fucking beginning. Start being honest with themselves. I don't give a fuck about your concepts of civilizations and societies and family units and all these fucking mind dramas, these implanted mind frames that you have about what life is and what's expected of you and all this fucking shite. Ask the fundamental questions. You don't even know where the fuck you are. The whole game, the whole setup, the whole experiment, the whole social engineering is about making sure that you fucking stay here. And they're only going to keep shuffling the deck. Once the one system gets found out, oh, shuffle it, let's get a new one. Right? Because it's a system, it's a man-made construct, it's an idea. You don't know where you are. You have no grounds to move forward from when you do not have a bearing. Go away, wee woman. Beat it, you wee woman. You've got no bearings, right? But human beings just seem to like disregard that. Oh, I don't have any foundations. I have no bearings as to where the fuck I am and what's going on here. But everybody else has gone in that direction, so I'm supposed to go in that direction. People don't stop and think about the fundamental things. It's like you just ignore the fundamental things. And that's when you realise, look, you've got no foundations upon what you're partaking in. Everything that you're partaking in is just delusional rubbish. And everybody's at each other's throats with the answers. Oh, I've got a better system. Oh, but now we need to usurp this crew so that we can implement our ways and they should listen to us and we've got the answers. We're right. It's mental illness. A human being that does not know where it is, but professing that it has a grasp and certainty on its life and walking about with that certainty is fucking mentally retarded. If people keep going with this shite, they're never going to get anywhere. They're just going to perpetually go in circles, replacing one idea for another idea. Because that idea feels good for a while, and then when they're fed up with it, they'll adopt another idea. If you've not figured out yet that the whole game is to stop you from questioning the room, then there's something the matter with you. I don't give a fuck about the politics in the middle, the religions, the spiritual fucking gibberish teachings, the supposed history, the books, the philosophies, the literature, left, right and fucking centre. It's irrelevant. All it does is give you the illusion that you're gaining some knowledge or getting a grasp on some certainty in regards to your existence. You need to tear down the walls. We need to explore the fucking place, in and out, every fucking nook and cranny, right to the outer perimeters. Then we'll fucking see what the reality of the situation is. Then we can start talking about ideas and concepts of living within whatever the fuck it is. The enemy is not each other. The enemy is what is putting out these ideas, these concepts, these mechanisms that stifle and control you psychologically and emotionally. Not to mention the physical restrictions that are in your face. It's that bad, as I say, this whole corona pish. That you've got people sitting waiting at the TV to be told what they can and can't do. You can go and visit somebody. Oh, don't come here, don't come here. Oh, coronavirus, don't come in. No, stay away from me. Stay away. The very next day, you could go back. Oh, come on in. Hugs. No seen you for ages. What's happening? Ask them the question. What changed? Oh, well, they told me on the telly that it was okay now. You know, it really does make me wonder sometimes that the vast majority of people really do need some sort of leadership. Now, I couldn't give a fuck about any of that. If they want to be led and have leaders, that's up to fucking them. But if they're going to live in, ignorance and constantly have leaders, then they better start fucking discerning something a lot better. But for me, it's a waste of fucking time for somebody like myself. Because I am not interested in substitutes. I am not interested in the idiotic, fucking boring, weak games that human beings partake in regards to stifling themselves and deluding themselves. I do not know where the fuck I am right now, and I do not accept any other man's utter fucking shite that it wants to assert to me about where it thinks I am and what it thinks life's about. Because you don't have a fucking clue. That's a reality. That's why you've got so many fucking religions, so many different philosophies of mind and existence and every fucking other thing. Because no cunt has a fucking clue. And all these pompous academic fucksticks are all sitting on assumptions that they're too fucking thick to even address, to realise that the reason they're not getting anywhere and having any resolve is because their assumptions at a fundamental level are false. You don't want to be spinning potato rock in the vacuum of space and now I'm going to philosophise about my existence based on a fucking image that I've seen on the TV. That's how fucking stupid they are. We don't need fucking philosophies. We don't need fucking religions and ideas and concepts. We have the ability to actually fucking know. The heliocentric globe religion is a psychological tool to bewilder you, keep you fucking confused and get round and round in fucking circles. That's what it represents. You'll never make sense of anything until you know where you are. Ask Joe Blogs, how did you get your bearings in life? Oh well, they told me this and they told me that and everybody went that way, so I went, so that's life. And now what we see in Unravelling. Oh, the animals are getting disgruntled. The animals know the game's rigged. Right, time to give them some justice. Oh, look, there's some justice. So I change, it's going to be better, promise. Please just stay. Same with all this fucking shite on YouTubes, all these fucking gurus and flat earth fucksticks. Not once did any of them ever focus on the main aspects. Not once did any of them ever utter the words exploration. Full exploration. Fucking none of them. So I've said so many times before, this is no a fucking game. I'm no here to be a YouTube celebrity and make fucking money and have stature and people's attention just for the sake of it. You can come and reason with me and I will highlight the absurdity of your reasoning if you want to assert to me about globes and all that shite. I'll reason with you and show you how fucking bewildered you actually are. Look what fucking the Globetardians have done. They've actually convinced people through the use of a TV that reality is a conspiracy. Reality's conspiring to deceive you. You don't experience curvature. You don't experience rotation. You don't experience any of the idiotic theoretical physics that they propose. You experience being on the level. Everything that you utilise in everyday existence tells you that you're on the level. But they want to tell you that it's all deceiving you. Reality's deceiving you. Oh, it's mystical, it's deceptive reality. They'll tell you what it is though. They'll show you on the TV. So when you hear all this pish about people like me are conspiratards and conspiracy theories, no. If you believe in a globe, you're the conspiracy theorist. You are so far down the conspiracy rabbit hole that you've lost all semblance of rationality. You don't experience anything even remotely close to the earth being a fucking testicle. But you're willing to suspend all that. You're willing to suspend your senses, your direct experience of reality in favour of a fucking image on the television. All this pish, there's always much more important stuff. I know that important stuff that people talk about is the delusion land, the world of politics and religion and fucking idiocy. Right? I know it's going to be corrupt because it's all based on lies and bullshit right from the off. I don't need to go any further than that. I don't need to continually get myself enveloped within it, trying to fight it and make sense of it and this, that and the other. All you need to do is realise that they're hiding the room. It's the room that's the issue here. That's why nothing makes any sense. That's why people are coming out with utter fucking nonsense. You're not allowed to question the globe, but you're allowed to say that there's multiverses. That's how ridiculous they're getting now. They're actually sitting there with a fucking straight face talking about multiverses. And it's just going to keep getting more and more ridiculous because the foundation is wrong. That's the reality of the choice that people have. As I've shown, I can reason with people out there in reality. And I can get them to agree on their experience and what they know to be true. But they're conflicted internally because of hypnotism, because of NLP, because of subliminal. Well, that wee image of the testicle has been subtly reinforced over the years so that they then start to be conflicted with their own being, their own sense of experience and reality because of an image. Reality is no conspiring to deceive you. Your senses are no conspiring to deceive you. It is what it is. You're on the level. You experience the level. Standing bodies of water are level. The geometry that we apply shows you that it's level. Every aspect of your everyday life is screaming at you that you're on the level. but you're so enamoured by the TV. And that, again, when you try and reason with people about why they believe it, they don't even know. That's how subtle it's been. Because nobody ever really explained it to them properly. All you got was this reinforced image, this plastic model in the classroom, and it's been implanted in you through movies, TV, media, all across the board. This constant reaffirmation of a spinning testicle. A hypnotic fucking device. You ask. Don't believe me. Ask anybody. Even go to academia. Higher education. Reason with them. Is the Earth a globe? Yes. Why? That's what I was told. That's what I seen on my telly. That's about it. That's all you're going to get out of them. Or you might get a more advanced stupidity, where they might say circles in the sky, because that's the rhetoric they're hearing, you know, in modern times. Because obviously they're having to counter people like myself that are shouting about it. So they're coming up with all sorts of sophistry. And people are desperately seeking bias confirmation. So they hear these utter stupidity fucking lines, mantras and narratives. And some of them come out with it. Circles in the sky. I lives you in a circle. It gets dark.
Hi!
I'm not finished that yet. Who says you can come in here? Wait a minute, come here. Thanks. That's alright, it's kind of cold. Would you want pishy pants? You just want your face on the camera as well?
No.
Be narcissists.
I'm just standing here when we
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that.
Right, okay, shut the door. Shut the door. You shut it, Kiara? You know, you can't see for there.
You can.
So where was I? So say, not been in a very good place myself. And I know that there's people that mean well when they offer. As I say, when I say these things about the weather and stuff, I'm not looking for people to fix me or, you know, make my feelsies good and all that. I'm just venting. I'm just highlighting the fact, the matter. And as I say, I've got my own expectation that I'm then subjected to, and that's my issues as well. But, you know, it's unrelenting. And I have got that, whatever they want to call it, disorder. Because I need the sun. I like to be outdoors, so do the children. And it gets to you, it wears you down. And I'm not talking about, oh, it's just a bad day here and there. It's just unrelenting, constant, every fucking day in your face. If you lived here, you would know. And when you're aware and awake, the way I am, the majority of people are just in a stupor. They probably don't really notice or care. Because all they care fuck about's chasing the wee delusions in their mind, or, you know, running away from some trauma in their mind that they created, or whatever the fuck is going on with them. But for me, you know, I'm aware and awake and I look every fucking day. Like right now, we're back to that, you know, the geometry between the clouds again. Fucking constant overcast. So it gets to me. And I see all this pish going on in the political arenas, and everybody fucking jumping on bandwagons, and it's like, for fuck's sake. New World Order, people don't even know what New World Order is, as if it's some brand new fucking thing that's coming. No, when the system starts to decay and people start to figure it out, they just reshuffle it. It's a reordering of the hierarchy. Because the hierarchy will remain. You will be subjected to hierarchy. Coupled with that, they're still rattling on about space forces and globular testicles. Because that's what the whole fucking game's about. For whatever fucking reason. Now, I don't know the motive. But there is a motive to make sure that we do not know what the room is, or get out the fucking room, or find what else is there. Something massively significant is being protected. And it makes you think that the whole of life is just a big fucking experiment. I'm nobody's fucking subject, and I'm getting fucking sick and fucking tired of it. I'm not going to succumb to your expectations, your fucking beliefs, or any of the fucking shite that you want me to buy into. You better fucking come forward and put me in a fucking picture, you fucking wee pricks. I'm not going to let up. I'm not going to, oh right, I'll just buy into this fucking delusion and run away with the rest of my fucking life. I'm going to fight tooth and fucking nail right to the fucking end. And I'm going to tell every fucking generation, I'm going to make sure they pass it on to their next generations, and I hope every one of you does the fucking same. Eventually, it's going to crack. You're being fucking contained in a particular environment, a particular area, like a fucking animal. They can't just put a fence around you, because the human mind will go beyond that. They've got to misdirect you with ideas and all the other shite that's going on. That's what the globe is. There's your fence. Running in circles you go, can't get off it. There's your fence. I'm no interested in online gimpy, faceless fucksticks. I'm not here to battle with them and convince them of anything. They're fucking vagrant, scummy bastards. End of story. Willfully lying. If people like myself were fringe loonies and obviously wrong, there would be no need for a consistent online presence 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the fucking year, of fighting fringe lunatics that are apparently fringe lunatics, then there's obviously and abundantly a nature-defying testicle. If what you're looking at is no heading towards empowering you as an individual, liberating you as an individual, internally, externally, I'm no fucking interested in it, and neither the fuck should you be. You're missing basic, massively important tools that have been removed from you. You no longer can access them. In regards to your mind and how language works and how you can dispel lies, break through sophistry and expose it. There's a very palpable, tangible, fucking, I can't even get the words. I'm lacking that much sunlight, I can't even fucking bring the words forward. There's an obvious agenda. There's a word there. To keep you in the situation you're in. But no, they're just going to make it a wee bit better. They're going to fluff your pillow for you. Make it a wee bit warmer. No in Scotland, right enough. And they're talking about all this as if that's it, that's life. Oh, more jobs and this. People don't stop and go, what? Job? What are you talking about? What jobs? Does it serve me and does it serve my family? Does it allow me to be liberated internally, externally, and to spend time with those that I choose to for the majority of my time? No, it fucking well doesn't. It still entails you going out and producing idiotic products to keep commerce going. Well, 80% of your time you're away from your loved ones and the things that you should be partaking in. And now people are begging for it back again. Only better, in their mind. it's so archaic, so retarded, so backwards that people still look to systems, other human beings to make decisions for them. What the fuck is the matter with them? I fear it's too far gone. People are being directed and led. The problem is that the leadership roles have all been usurped, right? And none of us are ever going to be in a position to get into them, to direct the attention and the will of the masses. That's never going to happen either. And when you start trying it from a grassroots type scenario, all you get is fucking dipshits appearing in and fucking breaking the whole fucking thing up, distracting people, segregating them. And again, people are not equipped to be able to see it and identify it, to get fucking rid of it. There's no debates. It's fucking over. The globe's been rumbled. All their pseudoscience and their narratives of our existence are just fucking idiotic, retarded religions designed to stifle you and keep you still and go round in fucking circles. There's no debate. Reality's not telling you lies. You're experiencing it as it is. It is level. Your internal gyroscope's telling you it's level. The fact that you have access to 3 dimensions, up, down, left, right and every other possible, is only there because you're on the level. That's the calibration point. Water seeks a level. Standing bodies of water are level. It's all there. The practical lived life part is there. You're only conflicted because of an image. You know, you get the fucking the faceless gimpy trolls, right? Who are obviously, you know, organised in the 77th Brigade, you know, these military fucking sellout, weak fucking crack addicts. You're probably up to all sorts of knee fucking good and, you know, having to partake under duress. Right? So, you know, I done a video the other day practically demonstrating the mechanics of motion and these idiotic statements about how you can't push a rope. I'm just playing on language. When I'm talking about these things, I'm talking about the mechanisms, the physicality, physical, real stuff. And I'm demonstrating. And they'll come into the comment sections, and this is their games. Right? They think that they're up there on psychological and emotional manipulations. They're wee fannies. They've never dealt with somebody like me. None of that shite's ever going to work. But they're in the comment sections rattling on about my children and how it's child abuse, that you practically demonstrate stuff for them. That you honestly demonstrate stuff for them. That's the level of these cult lunatics. You as a parent, you shouldn't be demonstrating actual reality to your children and engaging in it with them. No. You should be teaching them to suspend and ignore their experiences and their senses and listen to external authority and what it tells you reality is. That's how fucking low these wee pricks actually are. And as I say, I have got a vicious contempt for them. They deserve war on them. And I don't give a fuck what happens if I achieve anything here in this life or no. If anything happens when I die and I still have, you know, a semblance of me or, you know, consciousness or whatever the fuck goes on, I will fucking fight tooth and nail there as well. I will never stop until I get these motherfuckers. fear no man, I fear fuck all about this life, the next life, death, any of that stuff. It's all gone. All gone. All I have now is a focused fucking mind and identifying the fucking enemy and their bullshit. So you can throw your wee tantrums and your weak games all you fucking like. I'm just going to fucking slap it aside and keep rubbing salt in the fucking wounds, you complete and utter useless cunts. Nearly 6 years now, he's fucking running about in a tizzy, desperately trying the same tactics over and over and over and over again. And I just sit back and fucking laugh at you. And press go live. Every week. Sometimes twice a week. Just to get it right fucking up ye. All the way to the knuckles, you cunt. And then up to the fucking elbow. Freedom's here. You'll never get it. You'll never get in there. You'll never take it away. So, fuck you! But keep trying, because I love watching you squirming. You dance for me. You will always fucking dance for me. Dishonesty and fucking liars will continually be weak and beneath me. You're a fucking insect that I stamp on whenever I see fit. Oh, but Dale, there's much more to worry about, Dale, with this flat earth stuff. It's all a distraction for the more important stuff, sees you. What? The messed up ball of string in the middle of the room? That's what you think I should put my attention to? The ball of string that's there to keep you going round in circles in the middle of the room? Oh, aye, very good. Very good. Oh, come on in, I'll delve in and we'll get into some mental gymnastics, battling with other groups against their ideas and their concepts. Oh, fucking whoop-de-doo. Oh, aye, that fuels me. That gets me going, that gets me motivated, aye. It's all the shite in the room that's distracting you from the real important stuff, which is, where the fuck are you? The power structures and the avenues of authority are already gotten. So all these motherfuckers that are trying to convince you that you're going to somehow change that are just leading you on a merry dance. The only way to get them in a fucking panic to expose the whole fucking lot is to continually push the message. What's the room? They're telling you lies about the room. We need full exploration. They don't like that shit. They don't like that at all. Quite content to have you arguing about your skin colour and your sexuality and all that fucking jargon. That's all good. Fuck it. Let them carry on. As soon as you start questioning the room, we've got a problem. Case in point. 6 years. Parrot fringe loony. The Earth's obviously a globe apparently. But we've had incessant presence day in, day out, every fucking week for years. Who does that? How are you going to reason your way out of that? Huh? Oh, they try and do all this self-righteous fucking virtue signalling bullshit that they're trying to help and all that rubbish. No, they're not. Because all we get is viciousness. All we get is attacks on the man. All we get is deflection. Attention on your children, your partner, everything else. Who does that? That's no secure people. That's no objective science that's secure with its practical demonstrations, ready to support its idiotic claims. That's lies, weak, paper-thin bullshit that is to use all sorts of obfuscation distraction tactics so that progress can't be made. So, as I say, I'm not in a very good place, but it never stops the focus on what's really relevant and important. It's good to see them out playing. At least it's no fucking raining. It's no sunshine, but at least it's no fucking raining. Hello, we Helen Degenerates. I seen the wee video that you put up, Helen Degenerates. I actually meant to comment and I totally forgot about it, but it was nice. It did make me laugh and gave my wee feelsies a wee warm feeling, you know, with the music and the blah blah blah. And that's what it is for me. It's good just to have a laugh about stuff. But as I say, I know I have my own expectations, and then, you know, I'm subject to my own expectations in regards to the weather, and it grates me down and it grinds on me. But, you know, it's justified because I think it's quite right to expect at least a few days in a row of sunshine, which we just don't get. Oh, cheers, Helen Degenerates. I appreciated it. And again, I appreciate everybody else that comes in with positivity and, you know, whatever else. And sometimes I'm just a big fucking cynical, you know, bad mooded cunt, and I can't be fucked with comment sections, and I don't take praise too well, and, you know, it's not that I disrespect or I don't appreciate people that offer up, you know, positivity. It's just that I don't need anything for people. I've never been one of the people that seeks that. If I start on that stuff, then you start to become addicted to it. You maybe start to need it or whatever. But just because I'm not responding or whatever, it doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge it and I don't appreciate it. You know, love and happiness and all that stuff is the things that I desire. Just because I've got this going on, this exterior and this attitude towards the bullshit, Doesn't mean to say that I don't have those aspects. I've said this before so many times. But again, you've got to understand the situation that we're in right now, and it's not a fucking joke. It's funny sometimes, but it's not a fucking joke. I don't want to live my whole life in a fucking bewildered state, not having any real knowledge about where I was and what was going on. That's just not me. Spring is your summer now, waking up to truth. Well, I can summarise spring and summer here in Scotland, especially this year. Spring was the last week of April, summer was the first week of May, and now we're back to all year round autumn. Guarantee you, here in the last couple of weeks we've had 8 degrees, 10 degrees. See, when it comes to December time here, when it's our winter, I'll show you, there'll be days here where it's 8 and 10 degrees. There's no balance here anymore. It's just perpetual autumn. How we's all doing? Stuart Lundy, how you doing, mate? Rude Arthur, Greek Curve Hunter, how you doing? Perfection, FPV Angel, JJ, Baron Bronskevich, Uller Alfred, Sammy Shaw, Andy123, John C. Oddity, Calypso, One Man He's Detector, Stationary Plane, Bloody Stickler and Water, Flat Earth Banner, Matthew C4, K. Alexander, Grissu, Insolencia, World Without Curve, Des, how you doing, bud? Holy Magnet, oops, Ahimsa G. I was walking around yesterday and it felt like I got transported to a new world, and I realised it's just that I can see the sky for the first time in weeks. Exactly, lucky you. Christopher O'Neill. See, people are realising that it's happening everywhere, but here it's particularly bad. Here Nida, David Martz, Tony Dixon, Rob Redding, Martin Haley, Guns of Navarone, Gazman, Big Rab, Will Bishop. I've just jumped here. I've lost my place. Jacqua, Pied Piper, Nicholas Brown, DeWalt, Watching the Name of Zion, Chris Rosen, Cheris Rosen. How yous all doing? No, I can surmise that I'm not the only one that feels the frustration. Have no sphere. My wife made the mistake of coming to Scotland back in 2007. The last summer, she wondered why everyone talked about the Scottish weather negatively. 13 years on, she's waiting. Exactly. Oh, you getting the same days, sitting there with a hoodie on, and oh, look at me, jumper. So there's been a few days, June and July, that we've had to have some heating. Harry Hepworth, NG, Jeep Girl. You got a few inches last night, did you? That's fucking... We get that in fucking half an hour. Rickus Vacus, how you doing, bud? Flat FLSTF. Good times for all. Will Bishop. The Eye. Magumba. It's global warming, aye. Aye, it's warming up everywhere apart from here. Maybe it's maybe they used to talk about the whole of the ozone layer. Maybe it's above Scotland or something. You know, all that air's gone, it's creating a draft, and all the clouds are coming here and just getting stuck. That's all. I don't fucking know. Stephen Crumley, how you doing? David Marks, Sir El Carty, how you doing? Will Bishop, considered moving to the tropics. I would fucking love to. I mean, I say it on here, I think people think I'm joking. If anybody's got, you know, people, don't get me wrong, there's been some fantastic people who have, you know, made gestures, made offers of, you know, access to places to have a holiday and whatever else. You know, but we need months away from here. I'm talking about permanently leaving here. I would not look back. But obviously you've got a young family. It's not as easy as that. I need to make sure I've got security when I go. That's what I'm saying. I'm willing to do pretty much anything just to be able to live in the fucking sun. So if anybody's got any ideas, any options out there, you know, I'm willing to have the offer. So I'm not joking. But all this stuff about global warming, ice ages, yada yada yada, you know, it seems to only be certain areas. Oh, I don't know, I'll get messages to people, what's going on here. Flat enough. I've lived there for a while, you're going to love the weather, perhaps you can find a place as mechanic there. Where was that again? Seriously playing Greg, Ulo has some proof of the dimensions of our reality with the sun's trajectory. Fascinating. Very good. It's funny how they always spend their time in the comments sections and chat boxes, but they'll never come on directly and get it out to more people. Dances with Zombies. You have a wife and some great kids, man. Some of us don't have that. At some stage you have to be stoic and happy with your lot, but I understand the frustration. That's what it is. It's not that I don't appreciate, you know, aspects of the things that I've got. You know, there's the stuff that I love. You know, like I've said so many times before, the sentience is the main thing that I value about this experience. You know, but there's a physicality to this. I'm in a physical body. You know, and sunlight and having the sun on your skin for me is massively beneficial. Not only physically but mentally. So it gets frustrating, it grinds you down and it wears at you. You know, it doesn't mean to say that I, you know, negate aspects that I appreciate. You know, putting it into perspective and all that stuff. Of course you could be in a far worse situation, but you know, no having sunlight is detrimental to your psyche and your physicality. And obviously, of course, as I've said so many times before, my expectation plays a massive role. But you can't, you know, everybody would expect in the summertime, everywhere on the plane, across the level, anybody when it comes to summertime expects to have some sunlight. I don't think it's a outrageous expectation. Chris F.E. Jackson, how you doing? Individual perspective. Fuck, I'd love to come and be a weed farmer in Nevada. Years to hear, eyes to see. I would fucking love that. Because that's the perfect conditions for me. Roasting hot through the day, sunshine, and cold at night, so I can still get a sleep. Fucking perfect. That's where I should be, something like that. The Great Reset, aye. So I say, I don't need to read these sites. You know, for me, being involved and looking at this stuff for years and, you know, gone internal, you know that it's going to happen. There's an inevitability. Because the systems and the constructs that we have are all false. They're not grounded in objectivity. Right? So when we create a system, a way of living, societies, cultures, they're just based on, you know, what you learned when you were born, and then habitual behaviours, you know, perpetuating until you fucking die. So when you have a corrupt hierarchical idea, it's an inevitability that it's going to crumble because it's not based on a true proper foundation. And that's what I said. You know, you're saying a reset. It's just a reorder. They're just reshuffling the pack. Trying to schmooze people and keep everybody in their place and accepting their bewilderment. Live in bewilderment. Be comfortable in your bewilderment. Embrace your bewilderment. Yay! And then when we go so many other generations and it all falls apart again, we'll be ready with a new order. The hierarchy remains. Power structure remains. I got my Euromillions on Magumba, you triggered me. I was having a, me and Magumba were texting each other earlier. Because, ask him, he's only a couple of miles along the road from me. And he's pissed off with it as well. It was meant to be sunny, cloudy, and it's just bucketing down. How are you supposed to live in that? So, we're having a laugh about putting the Euromillions on, because that's the only fucking way out of this pish. So I stuck a couple of lines on. That's how desperate I am. Again, I'm going to, invite the pineal gland masters out there with a positive vibes and energies to manipulate the Euromillions draw so that the wee boys come out with my numbers. You've got to tell me that, does he well that? Or does it not? What language does this universe catalogue understand? Because I've been trying for years. I've tried every fucking thing. I've made sigils, I've read The Secret, I've tried all the fucking affirmations, putting wee pictures above me so that when I wake up in the morning I see it. Still no Ferrari, I'm still not living in the fucking sunshine. Emma, a couple of years ago, Emma was doing my fucking tits in with that stuff. She had fucking post-it notes every fucking where. She tried hard. Now I've witnessed it. It doesn't fucking work. She put her all into it. Post-it notes all over the fucking place. Universe wasn't listening. Is there a special code or something? Is it like one of the discount codes? Have I got to put a code in before I put my affirmations or my requests into the universe catalogue for stuffsies? How does it work? Somebody come and tell me. Could it do something simple like blow the clouds away? Because that would be a start. It's obviously difficult for it to bring me a couple of million quids, some Ferraris and some motorbikes. But it could blow the clouds away, surely. Because it created them. So is there a special code and an affirmation post-it note thing that I can request the clouds fuck off? Maybe I could get a message to God's wife that cleans the dome. Maybe she could just open the wee hatch and use her wee dusting thing and go off, shoo away you clouds. I mean, I'm open to anything.
I'll bring it back.
What, the tobacco? I'll give it a wee second. I'm just going to fix something so I can roll on. I think what happened there.
You cut off?
No, I don't know what I done. I fucked the day there. Shit. back. Aye, so oh, aye. So I've not been on recently. Usually I would play one of Steve Thorne's tracks, but you know, I'll leave that to the weekend. And somebody requested a link, and that's something I forget about as well. You know, I'm an awful one for, you know, secretarial stuff, like linking stuff at the bottom of the, because I can't be fucking bothered. It just doesn't tickle my fancy, but I really should. So on Saturday I'll put a link direct to Steve Thorne's stuff. And again, there's other people here that deserve exposure that are in situations. Des Sherwood's another one. You know, plays guitar, makes music, has something to offer you. You know, utilise these people. Don't throw your money at these fucking cocksniffers that are offering you fuck all useful. Forget where I was going. Aye. If you want to join me this evening, I'm up for a wee chinwag. Whoever you are, whatever you want to talk about, you're more than welcome. So you need to send me an email. I'll check them in a minute. And again, I see people are emailing me and whatever else, but when there's a big list of emails, you just need to understand that it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because I can't be fucked reading fucking hundreds of emails and having to respond to them. I've said so many times before, you can access me directly. I'll have a direct conversation with you, either online or offline, in person, live or in private, whatever the fuck. You know, these days. Right, I'm going to check and see if I get any emails. I keep getting emails from that Idealista. It's a place that's like a what do you call it? You know, they deal with rental places in Tenerife, and I just tease myself because they send me them all the time. You know, properties for long term rent in places like Tenerife, and it's all fucking blue skies and fucking swimming pools and oh my god, looks so fucking good. Right, wait a minute. What time is it? Right, it's not for me. No. Joe Quinn. No, Joe Quinn. Alright, Del, link. I'm sure I've had you on before, have I not? Was that the troll account? I don't know if Joe Quinn's looking for a chat. I've not even looked on this Google or responded. I see Bill, you've messaged as well. There's a couple of people there that have messaged. I've just not had to fucking get up and go, the will. What's been happening with you lot? I know that I said I was going to start the pillow talk thing the other night, but I was too fucking down in the dumps. I will be starting that at some point this week probably, where I'm just going to go live in my bed and talk about other aspects that people might be experiencing, some of the mind warps that are in there, and just talk about some of these things and see if people can identify with it, because I think there's so many people that are still shackled by ideas and concepts, you know, and it's evident in, you know, their everyday life and what they're partaking in, you know, me included. So it might be useful to just talk about some of that. So say, just talking about it for the sake of talking about it because of the situation we're in right now. When really all I want to do is get out there and fucking tear down the fucking walls and see what the fuck's going on. Look at that fucking sky. That's incredible. Honestly. The building project, aye. So I've been, you know, talking about this with a few different other people and different possibilities, you know, of how to make it happen and what we could utilise. So that's kind of still ongoing. I'll talk a wee bit about that on Saturday, and maybe lay out some options of how we could maybe go about it. So I say it's not really for me, because I don't need that. But obviously people need, you know, something else. Hi, hello.
Hello, Dad.
Alright, mate, sure.
You alright?
How's it going?
I'm alright, Dad. I come up on as Joe Quinn on your email, but it's Brian off the ballbuster.
I was wondering that. I couldn't remember if it was a troll account.
It's
or
not like a stock account, it's just when I made the email, I wouldn't accept my name, so I had to try a few different names. And they just accepted the Joe Quinn one, so.
No worries.
I can't see you though, Dad. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Aye, my wee thingy's there. Hold on.
Hello there, that's it. I've got you now.
How's it going?
Oh God, man. Same as you, they're just pissed off.
Aye.
It's just. I love watching your videos when you're out on the street and you're doing this, that, and the other, because, like I say, I admire you for doing them. I haven't got the patience to do them.
Yeah.
But when you're walking away and like you get back home, do you not think they deserve the prison within they dwell? Because I do.
Aye. That's
I
the
think they
thing.
deserve it.
Of course. Well, that's it. If people want to be apathetic and willfully ignorant, then they deserve everything they fucking get. You know?
Well, they rely on our apathy, Del. The government, and well, if it is the government, well, they perpetuate the lie. But wherever the lie comes from originally, they rely on apathy.
Aye.
They rely on, because without it, they couldn't keep a lie going.
You know, the majority of people's discernment is externalised. You know, their discernment's externalised and handed over to, you know, different, you know, posts.
Of course it is, and that lie's got to withstand the test of time, hasn't it?
That's it.
And the only way it can withstand the test of time is with people's apathy, people being apathetic to it, like, oh, well, you know, you've heard it before, when you've been quizzing people and talking, well, I've still got to get into work in the morning, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
What? That's the worst kind of apathy you can ever have.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, hang on to new people. You know, let's ask the fundamental questions. You don't even know where you are. You don't know why you're here, where you are, or any of that stuff, but yet you're running about with all these affirmed statements and quests that you're just clutching from fucking thin air.
Well, they think they know where they are,
Aye.
but they don't.
No, and it's all habitual behaviour.
It's habitual because they've been told it.
Yep.
And they've got so much trust in the people who are telling them this, although they spend all of their life moaning about the people who tell them the shit.
Yeah.
They'll moan about the taxes and the Black Lives Matter and this and that, whatever happens to be the topic at that particular time. They'll moan about everything apart from the huge white elephant that's sitting in the room that they should be moaning about, that they've got no idea about.
Exactly.
You know, all this little trivium. Well, it's trivial. It's not trivial, but it's not the big number one thing they should be moaning about. It's, you know, distractions, I call them.
Aye.
Distractions.
You know, they're not asking the fundamental questions. What is this? What it means to be a human? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like the human being just starts. There's a beginning point, and the majority of human beings have never addressed the beginning point. They just start at 10 jumps down the track and run from there, assuming that they know the track they're on and what the destination is, and they just don't have a fucking clue.
No, I mean, I took so much inspiration, Del, when I watched you doing your street interviews, and I'm like, God, they're not even listening to what he's actually saying to them.
Mm-hmm.
All they're doing come back is moaning about trivial things like, oh, that fucking poll tax and the council tax and the this and the that, and you're saying, but do you know actually where you're from? Do you know about the big lie you're being told about where you're actually from? You've been told since you were 5 years old at school. That big lie. Oh, that didn't concern me.
No.
Oh, I'm not bothered.
Exactly.
I've still got to get to work with them. What?
Exactly.
That's the one you should be concentrating on. Yeah. That's the one where everything else stems from.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else stems from that lie. Everything else apart from that lie is just a distraction to keep you busy.
So the bewildered state of human beings is due to the fact that they don't have a fucking clue where they are or what's going on. And
don't have a fact or don't care. Which one is it?
Both.
Do they care or do...
It's just both, It's
yeah. I hate it when they turn around and say, oh, well, it doesn't affect me because I've still got to go to the world. And I'm like, what about your children and their children and their children and their children? Generations from now in the future, people will still be repeating, parroting what you've just said. Oh, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, it's a self-preservation society. They don't even give a consideration or a thought to the next generations or how it's going to be or whatever, because all they give a fuck about is, attaining whatever wee selfish goals they have.
Yeah, I mean, Delta, I don't think you would say, well, I know you wouldn't, and I wouldn't. That's like me saying I don't care if my kids take drugs, or have a smoke, or have a drink when they're about 5 or 6 years old, because it doesn't affect me.
Exactly.
That's the same sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Think about kids generations from now, like your children,
yeah,
their children, their grandchildren. What about them? Do you want them to be locked in the same ridiculous lie and the same mindset where you're not allowed to question anything? If you do, you're lonely.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be open-minded or think critically,
exactly,
or ask for evidence or empirical stuff that you can see, tangible stuff, tangible evidence, not pseudo-scientifical, mathematical shite that they give you that just makes you even more apathetic.
That's it.
That dumbs you down even more.
Exactly.
That's the way you should be wanting your kids. That's what you should want your kids to ask and behave like.
Apparently in Globetard that's child abuse. If you offer a freedom of expression and freedom of thought and freedom of exploration internally and externally, then that's apparently child abuse according to these fucking Fruit Loops,
Yeah, child abusers calling, educating you on child abuse. I mean, I wish I had I've only been awake about 5 years, Dale. I mean, it seems to be the popular thing. I don't know why everybody seemed to start thinking and question things around about 5 years ago, but I actually did. It was around about 5 years ago. And as I've explained to you before on the show, I'm a bit ashamed of that. But I just didn't know any better. Before then, in the 50-odd years I was alive on this plane, wherever we are, I just didn't know any better, and I trusted the system.
It's because the delusions become familiar. The delusions become comfortable. Because they're familiar, you know them, and it's just a repeating pattern, and that's what happens. You just plod through. People just plod through their life. It's not until they have a realisation or a thought, maybe 50 years down the line, that they go, for fuck's sake, I've assumed these things, I've taken these things for granted. But that's the majority of human beings. That's exactly what I've been talking about this evening. It's that mindset of certainty that they think they have based on fucking utter nonsense.
Whatever your point of realisation is, that little moment that makes you snap out of it. And mine, I think I've explained before. I mean, I was the guy who sat up till 4 a.m. waiting for the Curiosity rover to land on Mars. I was the guy who made an account with NASA and everything, and I was waiting there, and the 7 seconds of doom and all that and everything. I was totally took in by it, and then nothing happened. It was just a cartoon of an animation of a thing, rover landing, and then so I waited for the next couple of months with anticipation. Well, I'm going to get all these fantastic pictures back, and this is going to happen. Guess what, Del? Sod all happened.
No, of course.
They're still sending rovers there, and still sod all's happening.
Of course, and it's the
same old grainy pictures and nothing happening.
It's the same just now. You've got all these people talking about the QAnon stuff and Trump and the draining the swamp and all this stuff that's going on, and I'm going, hold on now. They're still talking about fucking space and space forces and all this fucking shite. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
NASA discovered a new planet. God, if I had a quid for every time NASA fucking discovered a planet, I'd be a millionaire. And nothing ever happens. Oh, but you can't get there because it takes 25 billion years to get there. So why the fuck does... Who cares then?
Aye.
Who gives a shit?
That's it.
Well, that was my tipping point. I thought they're taking the piss. That was my sort of tipping point. And I was like having the Mickey took out of us, and when they brought that Pluto thing out with the Pluto, and I was like, oh, that was enough for me.
Right.
But for some people, it's just not enough. They're going to go on believing regardless, no matter how silly it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I sometimes wonder, for the globe, the heliocentric, the Globetard, whatever you want to call them, I wonder what their tipping point is and why they never, ever, ever quit. No matter how silly it gets with Starman and this and that, they still just keep on believing regardless, no matter what. I wonder what their tipping point is.
Well, if you're talking about the online presence, then these are people who have got ulterior motives. They're no honest people. So I wouldn't place any relevance upon them. I mean, the real important aspect is the people that are in your immediate reality. Trying to speak to them, trying to convey stuff to them, and hope that it triggers some realisation in them. Just the same as you had, did you say, and the same as I had so many years down the line, and you have contemplations, and you make a realisation. Then sometimes speaking to people, that's the key to send them on that journey. But I don't waste my time, expecting anything of them or wanting or waiting for them to convert or make the realisation.
I agree. I mean, it's not that I wish they would realise, I wish they would get it. I'm just curious to why they don't get it. It's not that I've got some desire to convert people and get them to think the same way as I just can't. It's the mentality where they don't get it.
It's that psychology of needing a leader. I think they're just in that mindset, and the majority of people just need to be directed. It's like they don't have their own volition, their own will, their own discernment, and they're just waiting for to be posted to a particular avenue, and that's it. They go. That seems to be the majority of people.
It's like if I go and watch a magic show, Adele, and I see the magician pushing the coin in the bottle or making some. I know he hasn't really done that.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't.
Yeah.
Because I know it's impossible. But these are the type of people that haven't got that discernment where, like, oh, is he really crazy? Is it really magic? Of course it's not.
Aye.
No, it's not. You can't physically push a coin through a glass bottle.
Aye.
But they're like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's the bit I'm trying to understand.
All
the clues are there, Del. The clues are there for them.
Yeah.
Nobody can be that. The clues are there. Natural laws and stuff like that tell you that they can't do these things. Yet they still believe it.
Aye, they'll just suspend their disbelief.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. They want to believe it so much that they can't envisage these people lying to them.
Exactly.
Because what's the other thing they'll come out with? Why would they lie?
Exactly.
Why would they lie?
That's it. That's one of their go-tos. If they don't have the motive for why it would be going on, then that's it. It can't be going on, and it's just absurd.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of them invested in it. Jobs, stuff like that. The peer review and all that, and a lot of them, they've got careers built on the back of this.
Yeah.
The same as the priest has a career built on the back of knowing that guy in the sky.
Well, look at academia.
He makes his career out of it.
Academia has expanded its avenues because of the bewilderment. Because because it's bullshit and it doesn't make any sense. It allows all these avenues of philosophy and all this fucking gibberish to take hold, and for more opportunities for people to get involved in utter lunacy, and it just perpetuates itself because they've got a part of life that makes them comfortable, gives them what they immediately require, money, stature, yada yada, and then they're invested in that and they're quite happy just to keep continuing it on and on and on, and it's almost like there's this state in the human consciousness that it's like acceptable or the way that it is that we should be bewildered, that we should know what life is and where we are and why we're here. All these things just seem to be a given that's the state that we should just be in. And they don't realise that that's what's creating the fucking shithole that we're experiencing right now. You know, we're supposed to be, we're not supposed to know where we are and what it's about. It's all a big mystery. It's fucking idiot, total idiocy. You know?
You might not be supposed to know what it's all about, but as I said before, all the fucking clues are, sorry for swearing, the clues are there for you. It's all there. I mean, it's absurd, most of it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it if you hadn't been taught it from 5 years old.
Yeah.
You would never buy it, ever. You wouldn't buy it if it hadn't have been forced into your little blank memory, you know, that you have when you're 5 years old, no critical thought or nothing like that.
Exactly.
You're not programmed to answer back or ask questions when you're 5. That's the only way they can get you to believe it.
Exactly. That's that. They're predators. So they know they have to prey on you from a young age where you're impressionable. And that's where, you know, it solidifies. That's where the basis of it is put in. And then it's just reaffirmed through your life. As I say,
yeah, I mean,
in regards to the globe, all people have had is wee images of this is your world. You know, in a movie, the beginning of a movie, through the movie, in an advert, you know.
Give me 500 kids, Dylan, give us an island in the middle of nowhere, and give me them 500 kids under 5 years old, I'll get them to believe anything.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, they will believe anything I tell them.
Exactly.
Because they won't be programmed to answer, and if I restrict their travel, obviously, as well, and everybody else on that island who because I can't teach 500 kids, but you know, there's like 10 or 20 of us, I can get them kids to believe anything. And I can get them to believe in any God that I want them to, and believe indoctrinate them with any information that I want, and they will never question it.
Exactly.
Ever, especially if I don't give them access to computers or any sort of social media, they will believe anything.
That's it.
That's how easy it is.
That's it.
Then all you're going to do is keep it going.
Exactly.
Simple.
And you don't have to keep ramming it in their face. You can just subtly achieve it. As I say, case in point with the globe, it's not been rammed down people's throats. It's never really been taught to them. The supposed mechanics of this globular earth. It's just been stated to them, that's where you live. Oh, the world spins and it's this and that, and then there's an image, there's a plastic model, and that's all they see their whole life. Yeah.
And if they haven't got a monitor again, like say if you're not a scientist or a school teacher or something like that, just give them a diploma, give them a degree, give them something like that, something else to make them feel special. Yeah. And that's it. That's them sorted for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter who comes in, like you or I or anybody else, to try and challenge them, they'll go, I've got this, what you got.
That's it. Exactly.
I have this. I know I'm on the side of science. I'll just spout off mainstream science for the rest of my life, and you will be the dummy.
That's it.
Oh, it's just so annoying though. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, it certainly is.
It's just frustrating. That's why I admire you. I've seen you a couple of times like kicking off and getting really frustrated and everything, even though the last couple of weeks has been about the weather, which I totally get as well.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating, man, so kudos to you.
Yeah.
Hard flipping work, this. Hard work.
Yeah, certainly is, mate. But,
see, we're only a couple of 100 miles away, Dylan. We have pretty good weather in Newcastle. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But like I say, I've seen your videos where it's just perpetually cloudy, and that's got to be freaking depressing.
It does.
Looks sunny there now, though, mind.
No, it's fucking totally overcast, mate.
Again, alright, I'm looking at the one that just on yours to go left there,
the sky's a mixture of white, grey, purpley blue, you know, and it's all just intermingled as far as the eye can fucking see everywhere, every direction.
Have you not even got the white elbows in there? I mean, because my arms are brown, but my shoulders are white. You mustn't even have that then up there then.
Oh, mate. No, as I say, it's been that bad, you know, the last wee while it's been like under 10 degrees, just hitting 10 degrees, wind, rain, it's fucking horrific.
Well, they do call it the land where the sun never shines, like, don't they?
Right.
So,
but it wasn't like that when I was a kid, I swear to God, it wasn't like that when I was growing up, you know?
Oh, did we just not feel it when we were younger, haven't I?
No,
sure, but...
no. You knew, as I say, as a kid, you know, I remember when you had the overcast days and it was raining, you were resigned to the fact that, right, the day it's going to be a bad day, not going to get out, but you knew it would let up, like the next day, you would get the opportunity, you would get out and you would experience it. But recently it's just, you know, I mean, we had like 3 weeks there of overcast raining, right? Just perpetually unrelenting, and then it culminated on Sunday with a storm and even more rain. And you're like, for fuck's sake, where is this fucking coming from here? What is going on?
But I'm totally with it, because whenever anybody talks to me about climate change, I always mention you. I can speak to my mate Dell on Beyond the Imaginary Curve and tell him about climate change.
Exactly.
Because I'm assuming Dell, you're probably 40-ish, and I'm saying he's lived in Scotland all his life and it's always pissed down. And you can count them out of sunny days per year and probably on a couple of hands.
Exactly.
And that's not climate change.
No.
No. If it's fucking red hot every day of the week for 6 months, then I might believe in climate change.
Yeah.
Then you might just have us interested.
Yeah.
But that never happens.
No.
Ever.
No, we never get like a full week of like sunshine. That's just like a fucking fantasy. For us to get a full week of sunshine is never happens.
I think the most I've ever known back in Newcastle, like I say, a couple of 100 miles away, is maybe a couple of weeks. And maybe between May and August, you might get a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Then it'll piss down and then it'll.
We don't. We get one kind of dry day followed by 3 weeks of utter shite, and then maybe half a day, 3 weeks of utter shite. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to get back there because it's already put me back into that bad fucking mindset, and I don't want to keep going there. But
Right, let's get back onto the old shape of the Earth. So I've been thinking about this rocket launches lately.
Yeah.
You know, these SpaceX and shuttles and all. There's a reason why they're 11 mile away. Because now you can't see fuck all 11 mile away.
Yeah.
It's like bonfire night there, right? If I'm in Newcastle bonfire night, I mean, let's face it, every city in the UK is setting up bonfires, aren't they? I mean, fireworks. Everywhere, Manchester, England, Scotland, Glasgow, Liverpool, they're all setting them off.
yeah,
And we're pretty far away from each other, aren't we?
yeah,
You get these numpties like George Net and you can fucking other scientists saying, why can't we see New York from London and all that? Well, it's obvious, it's perspective, it's too far away.
Yeah.
Night time, you've got fireworks going off, there's nothing in the way, you know. The fireworks are above I think they go above the clouds, I'm not sure. But they're high up. I can't see fireworks going off in Scotland, can I?
no.
It's the same thing, they don't get it. It's
Exactly.
perspective, too far away. Angular size, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think they know this, you know. I'm thinking.
They know fine well. They know fine well that the globe's based on human vision, and that's what they've played on. You know, so we know it. They fucking know it. You know, so they can keep up.
Of course they do. They're being obtuse all the time.
They can keep up their pretense all they fucking like. It's not going to wash with somebody like me.
They're being deliberately obtuse because I feel if they really profess to have the intellect that they should have, and they've got this and this to put them on, and they're always bragging about, yet they can't see the simple things that are staring them right in the eye. I think they're just being obtuse.
Of course.
Obtuse for a reason, sort of thing. I think I've got that word right, obtuse, I'm not sure.
Aye.
But they must know.
Of course. Well, that's it. They always admit, you know, human vision when they're talking about their visible proofsies, you know, because that's their trick. You know, they'll just, you know, interchange, you know, visible geometry and tangible geometry and mix the two up whenever they fucking feel like it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that what you call the guy that was on the other day, not Simon Dunn, not him. Professor Dave, have you heard of him?
Aye.
He was on the other day going on about well, he was listening not to one of your videos there, I think it was the Globebusters or something like that, where he plays their video, then he stops it, then he replies to whatever they were saying. Not live, he's just got a video of the Globe. Just the stuff he was coming out with was all mathematical, this equation, this, and he was going on about the experiment in the shed.
Cavendish.
One in the shed.
Cavendish.
That's the one. He didn't explain it. Is it mass attracting mass, or was it trying to work out the size of the Earth or the mass of the Earth?
That's what I was trying to say to the guy Dave the other night. You know, it's they just cherry pick. They'll say to somebody like me, "Oh, you can't use a demonstration of water on a ball because the Earth gets in the way." But then they'll invoke things like the Cavendish experiment again, but yet they can't isolate that from the Earth's influence. So they just cherry pick. I can't be fucked with guys like Dave and all these fucking clowns.
I cannot.
They're just
An experiment.
stop giving them the views. Don't even fucking pay them any attention because they're just fucking morons.
Oh
Utter.
no, I don't give them any attention to it. It's just annoying. I mean, was it done in the 13th century or something like that? In a fucking shed? In a shed. I didn't give them any attention. It just annoys the hell out of us, that's all.
I know.
It's why how people can think like this and just...
Because
like I say, I
it's-
think they
it's
really
sophistry.
do know.
It's sophistry. It's just asserted
course it is.
with confidence, and that's the majority of the Joe blogs will just accept it because they can't be fucking asked trying to reason with it or think about it, you know. So,
For them, Dale, that's it. That's for their bread and butter. Mainstream science, nothing. It's all found. Everything's been discovered.
Yeah.
There's not unless science decides to change it, you know, which they very often do.
aye,
But that's it for them. That's set and sealed. They don't need to learn anything more.
Aye, mate.
And that's it.
that's
Locked,
it.
mindset locked in that sort of mindset, and that's it.
Yeah,
It's a lazy mentality, isn't it?
exactly.
I've got everything I need and I don't need anything else. Anybody like you or I come up with a different perspective or nah, you're a loony.
That's
You
it. Exactly.
won't even consider it, Del. They won't even. So, what's that law? Trying to think of that law. It's a religious thing, like, but it's called somebody's law, where you don't even go with the obvious just in case you're wrong or you're right. What's it called? I'll think of it in a minute anyway. But no, their mindset is like, I've got all I need, and that's all. I'm not open to anything, any other suggestions that
Yeah.
I could be wrong or I could be right or I could be wrong. Oh, what's his freaking law called? Somebody's law.
I don't know, mate.
I'll think of it in a minute, but yeah, they're just locked in that mindset where they don't care, don't want to learn. Even if you are right, they won't consider it. They won't consider the fact, new information, they won't take it on.
No.
I'll just take it away in case, you could be right. And I'll look into that. No, I wouldn't bother looking into it. I'm right.
Exactly.
The scientists.
Exactly. Exactly, mate.
I'll think of that freaking law. I mean, is there anything else been happening in Delden? How else been annoying you?
No, just the usual stuff, mate. Just the usual, you know. Oh fuck!
Just
There's
weather and numpties.
a wee bit of sun peering on the top of that house earlier. Fuck, what we at? 9:05. 9:05, and now there's a wee bit of sun starting to peer through from the fucking distance. Fucking brilliant. I better run away and try and catch it for 20 minutes.
I'll just run really fast, Del, and it'll come back to you.
It's a fucking
won't it?
joke, man. It's the same fucking pattern all the time. Miserable all day, and then at fucking 9 o'clock at night, there's a wee bit peering through. It's fucking a total joke, man.
See, but if you run really fast, it'll come back, won't it? Because you get out of that globe quick enough and it'll come straight back into view, won't it? Aye, and Did I hear you say you put the lottery on before?
Aye,
Aye, I've done that in my times of desperation. I've done that as well.
exactly. That's what it is.
Never won it though, but aye.
You know.
Never will, but you think.
Right. I don't know if I can do that on here, Magumba. Well, cheers for coming on, mate, Brian. It's
Not a problem, Del, mate. Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
no worries, bud.
You take care, mate.
You too, my lad.
Aye, fella.
See you
Bye.
soon. See you soon, bud. Magumba, I don't know if I can do that here quick. I want a wrench. Who is it you want to deal with here? What's going on? I can't. How do I give the wrench quick? Oh no, I can. Right, Magumba. Put a comment, Magumba. Right. Right, there you go. You should have it now. What is it's going on anyway? Try that. Sure. See if it's working. A further two, right, cool. Right, where are we here? Will Bishop. Cheers for that. Will. I'd need to get a chat with you about that. Rudetha. Justin Hollywood. Right, I need to go to the toilet quick. I don't know if that's a request for a link. Rudetha. I'll come back and I'll send one anyway. Give me 2 seconds. KJ, you'll need to wait until I get the phone up and running. I'll get that up and running for the weekend so that people can utilise that and they can ring in. So you'll need to try that again on Saturday, and I'll put the number up on the screen so you can call in direct. Huh? Somebody's just sent me whatever that is. I don't know what that means. 200 point XRP. Sign in to claim this amount. Oh, I'm not going to sign into anything. I don't know what that is. So, what knows what that's about? Andrew, pity it's pissing down here. Sun has been up for 30 minutes, and I know it don't set for you till about 10. Anyway, a little example I wanted to share of a medieval crane, applied pressure, pushing a rope, pushing an object up. Wanted to share but YouTube blocked it. I'll open that up. Nick, Phuket word. Let me see if I get any response here, Nick, from that one that I've just sent. Hang on a minute. Why, that's not letting me play that, Andrew. For some reason.
Yeah. You are ready, Thomas? Ready. Open.
Well, it's 14 minutes long, Andrew. I'll need to cut it down. I'll share it when I'm on Saturday, mate, if you send me it. Well, you've sent it, so. Right. Nick, I'll send you the link right now. Walt sent me an email, maybe it was him. I don't know what that is. It says Coinbase. Dominic sent you 200 XRP, £29. But I've got to sign in to claim it. So I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna touch it. Nick, how you doing, mate?
Very good, having seen and heard from you, my man.
How's it going? Nice one.
Still stuck in the UK here, yeah. So enjoying this wonderful weather as well.
Oh, it's fucking great, isn't it? Is it just as bad for you, is it?
Yeah. It's yeah. There hasn't really been a summer. Just a few freaky days when it was when it was needed for sure, and people were desperate to get out. But that's about it.
Yeah. Right. That's fucking horrendous, mate. But I know you're still in your situation, mate. How you getting on with that?
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking. Just some very standard. There's still a lot of hoops to jump through. There's kind of different application processes. There's one for the visa, and there's another one for the whole kind of special certificate, being a father with a spouse and kids over there. In fact, they're only just starting to send back like ties on a couple of flights this month, like mid-month, 26th or something like that this month. So even the nationals, the Thai nationals, are only just being allowed to get back. So it's funny. It's because you've got to have these COVID tests, but then actually it's quite difficult to get hold of them here.
Right.
I'm calling up these people and stuff, and in the UK where you'd think they'd be at every single doctor's place or whatever.
No.
Just it's just so this is it. We've got to provide these, and of course, you're ending up going through everything. I suppose they're taking DNA, all your bio data gets taken. You've got to kind of basically you end up contracting with this agreement that you'll submit yourself to whatever quarantine measures and all that stuff that they deem necessary at your own expense, and got to have insurance and stuff like that. So and it's just one of those situations where you can't do one without the other, so it's a catch-22. So but eventually it will come round, and I'll just have to be patient. Yeah,
I know, mate. No easy though. No easy, mate. Well, I'm glad you're holding up all right though, mate.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, and obviously it's nice to chat with. There are some good people here, and it's been in this kind of network of people that we know. Genuine people that you can talk to, and that's really nice, because otherwise you're surrounded by absolute idiocy.
Yeah.
Isn't it so fucked up? Just
It's beyond fucked up, mate. It's fucking way beyond it.
Yeah.
Way beyond.
Of course, it's like how can you ever escape any of this wherever you are? That's what bothers me. It's like, it doesn't matter where I am. You're still gonna have to deal with all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Locking us down, making sure we're fucking properly restricted now.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. I've no idea how everything went with people going to the pubs and stuff like that. If it was, even if it's a big deal or not, I don't know.
Doesn't interest me, so I couldn't care fucking less.
Yeah. But again, as we said before, one hopes that this is the kick in the ass, the wake up call, another comparison you can make. Yeah, of course, just as the gentleman was saying just now. I mean, obviously, there's a point where you start to wake up and you start to realize stuff. So, yeah, I remember going back to 9/11. It wasn't until a good few years after 9/11 that I started looking into it. So, you always kept playing catch up, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're way ahead.
Yeah, that's it. And then that transposes down through society, as you say. Things that you were maybe talking about 10 years ago, people are now just starting to talk about it and going, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? So what, got another 10 years before you get to this point? I mean, what the fuck? How much more convincing do you need that this is no good for you? That you need to fucking address where your authority's gone and start taking control of your own fucking discernment. Take your mind back, take your authority back. It's like everybody's waiting in this fucking big reveal or some magical thing that does that. It's like, no, do it right now.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You made a good point just now about the QAnon stuff and all the other stuff that people are, again, all they're doing is waiting for these so-called leaders to do something or living in hopes that they're kind of, no, they're not. They're not looking after anyone else but themselves.
Exactly. They'll just shuffle about the pack, and the hierarchy and the structure will remain. The power structure will remain.
For sure. But yeah, of course, there is that danger that it's all gonna snap shut before, and then only then do people start struggling and fighting when the noose is already around the neck.
Exactly, and it's there. The people are actually dangling by their feet right now, and they don't even fucking realise it.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop you. No, you're not.
Exactly, mate. All I can think about is getting back to normal. If I hear that again, it's fucking so infuriating. Normal. I want to get back to you're calling that normal, for fuck's sake. That's how deep it's got.
Yeah. It's isn't it? It is ideal. It's an ideal situation for the kind of people that we often come across that want to play the victim, and it's amazing. Some of them are loving it.
Oh, aye. Oh, they're lapping it right up, mate. Lapping it right up. It's like giving them the keys to the kingdom. Fucking running about with their self-righteous pomposity, fucking, and virtue signalling left, right, and centre, fucking trying to assert themselves as some superiors. And it's funny because I seen that, a small taste of that. It was like an NHS worker who was in plain clothes, but went right to the front of the queue, and the wee security guards letting her in, and they're having this kind of conflict. You could just see them oozing this self-importance as if we're here and everybody's down there. Look, we've got special privileges. I just wanted to run up and go, fucking slap.
Yeah, and that is exactly how all these tyrannical things took hold. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all done it, and that's no different to driving around in a loud car or something like that. Yeah. Attracting that attention.
Tattoos. Look how windswept and interesting I am, by the way. Total fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't have any answers though to it, man. Because it is just like that's it, isn't it? It is this. It is self-discovery. That's all, and that's all anyone can ever do, isn't it? Really, just
you do, and you start to find yourself thinking of ways to isolate yourself from it as much as you possibly can. And that's it for me. It's like place in the sun, isolated, away from the fucking majority, would be fucking perfect for me right now. But And that's about the only fucking thing that you've got, you know, or isolating yourself internally and doing the best you can, mate, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how are your kids doing with it all? Are they coping or?
You know yourself, kids are kids. They, you know, they're in the right place. They're just fucking living for the now, but it's difficult when you watch them, you know, having to be inside because the weather's so fucking shite, and you know it starts to, you know, the behaviours start to escalate a wee bit, and they're kind of disruptive and scatty, and you know yourself, you know, it's like fucking cabin fever, being stuck in constantly, you know. And as I say, there's very little. You know, when I look at somewhere like Scotland and you think of the oil, you know, you think of the export stuff that goes on and how very little any of that's been utilised here to benefit people. You know, if you were in lockdown, the weather's shite all the time, so what options do you have for like, your children? Fuck all. Nothing. Oh, we'll go to a swing park. What's a swing park? Oh, you can go backwards and forwards, or you can go down a chute that's 2 metres long. How? I mean, who's that aimed at? Toddlers? You know? I mean, it's bollocks. Total bollocks.
Yeah, and that's it. It's funny. I was looking at something. I was doing some work for something related to Singapore, and I had to kind of I had to kind of look at each little segment of the island. It's a small place, yeah, but every single neighbourhood has stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff for the kids, and it's all, you know. So there's places to play sport. There's all, you know, government run stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just it's just one of those places which really made an effort to. There's always something to do, and you can, you know. Actually, it's ironic because obviously they used the kind of the Great British Empire kind of planning and all that kind of stuff, and they've got that balance between the nature and, you know, you can, whether it's water sports or whatever it is,
Yeah.
golf, you know, it's all there. So it's funny, the Asians have taken that on and used it in a very advantageous way to at least keep their people entertained, you know.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, that's the thing. If you want to keep us distracted, then they better make a better fucking effort. Because, you know, here they're not even fucking trying, you know, which is, you know, I think why people turn to alcohol and fucking drugs, because there's fuck all, you know. It's like, what's the culture, particularly here? Nothing. Go to the pub and get fucking wasted, or go to the swing park. Brilliant. Yeah. But
yeah, man, yeah. I must admit, that's pretty grim, isn't it? Yeah, they're in much colour or variety in that, is there? Yeah.
No, and as I say, for somewhere like Scotland and the oil that's fucking taken from here and whatever else, you go, hang on a minute, where is all this fucking money going? Because it's certainly no gone here. You know, where's the infrastructure being bettered, and where's the facilities being created to, you know, help people, you know, advance and prosper? Mm-hmm. There's nothing. It's not here.
Right.
But,
wow. Yeah.
You look at places like fucking, you know, Saudi Arabia and these other countries, and they're running about in gold-plated fucking police cars and fucking... Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
You can see the wealth. The wealth is being utilised there in that area, but no in places like this. It's no. It's just fucking elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another common thing, I suppose, isn't it? You know, you've got although the place is producing a lot of money for the country, that's just going straight to London, I suppose.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you can buy a bottle of fucking, you know, Scottish whiskey cheaper in Japan than you can here in Scotland. I don't even drink it, but that's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Japan's notoriously expensive. That is bizarre. Yeah. I think we'll all be drinking Japanese sake on the estates instead. Little tea ceremonies. Have you got any? I know any progress on this
just
level.
Just hearing from different people. As I say, I put it out there to invite people to contribute, you know, ideas, possibilities, and whatever else. So I mean, material-wise and trying to get it right, it seems to be, quite a difficult thing. So I started to think like utilising a kind of relay laser type system, so that, starting from the plumb, and we make sure that the first laser is, parallel perfect to the plumb, so that's the reference. And it'll only activate the next one when it's perfectly lined up, so that the next one will then activate to the next, to the next, to the next, so that we know we've got a nice, straight that's calibrated from the plumb, and maybe achieve it, that way. But I mean, I was talking about it in regards to a kind of cultural thing, a scientific, monument, if you like. Trying to push that whole kind of narrative. Look, we could all put this to bed. Let's put our resources together. Let's construct something that can be left there as a monument to, answering the question that people can visit. They can see it for themselves. Whatever else. No, Foucault's pendulum and circles in the sky. That's fucking gibberish at these people. A direct measurement, a physical measurement of the Earth to see if it is indeed curving. But as I say, I don't need that, but I'm just trying to push it in a way where we can maybe make something happen, So
yeah. No, I think it's definitely, and it's been a really been a good thing to kind of reference as well for this. And I might speak too soon, but I do feel that I get some more clarity when dealing with some of the argumenters that come, because then you can really put it to them and get them to. Think about the difference between an optical calculation and a physical measurement. Yeah. And I've at least had one guy who says he's a pilot, but admits that he cannot think of a way to measure or demonstrate curvature.
No.
Physically.
Because it's not there. People like us know it's not there. But that's what I'm saying about just having this, monument to represent it and show. Well, there's a direct measurement of the Earth. It's no fucking curving. So, end of story.
Yeah.
But we know fine well that, there's many factions that don't want that happening. They want to perpetuate it. They want to keep it, uncertain, because that's to their advantage and their benefit, particularly when you're on the side of the lie, And there's also people on the other side of the fence who are quite happy to perpetuate it because they make money out of it. So it's difficult, but for me, I'm going to keep pushing. And as I say, right now, I invite anybody to contribute, anybody that's got any ideas of a possible setup that we can make it happen. Because there's so many people are putting negatives in about, a solid construct would be, it'd be too difficult to get it exacting. Well, no, we've got precise tools nowadays. We could, theoretically manufacture a system of creating a construct that would demonstrate it,
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, even if it's considered like an art installation, like a reflecting pond or something like that, it just get the funding, get some of that money back from the oil.
Exactly. And we're not talking. I mean, you put it into perspective. We're not talking an elaborate amount of money in comparison to what's wasted every single day. We're talking a minute fraction. So it's not something that's unachievable. It's just whether or not there's people that allow it to happen and people that want it to happen.
Sure.
Because
it always takes that. Someone somewhere has got to work their way up to a position of influence, and it's fudge.
As I say, it's one of the things that would work because regardless of what belief people have, everybody knows and understands we have a plumb. So even in the globular Earth, plumb is plumb. Straight towards the centre of the Earth or relative to the level plane, it doesn't matter. So that's your reference point. So then that's a reference frame removed from the Earth that we can utilise as the datum that we construct for, and then the Earth will tell the story. So.
Yeah, exactly that, and it's obviously school could do field trips and what have you. It's just
that's what I'm saying, though, mate. That's the thing, is to push it like that. Push it as that kind of thing and make it a big fucking thing and get people involved in it, and then it goes down in history as the thing that answered the fucking the debate, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in that regards, you could pump up the kind of whatever, what does they call it, the hype around it. You know, that is achievable. You get that, you know, you keep pushing in the right ways, and you get that kind of public backing, or at the very least, get people thinking about it. And
because and what I want to reiterate to people is that the relevance of the plum being the point that we take it from is because people are going on about, put sticks in the ground, and if you utilise the earth, all the globe proponents are going to say is that it's naturally following the curvature. So what we have to do is you have to remove it from that and make it the plum, because that's the relative point, you know, the reference point. Then you're removing it from the earth, and it's the earth that will tell the story, you know. So people need to get that, because if you use things on the earth, they're just going to say it naturally follows the curvature. So you know they're rhetoric, you know they're pish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it you know, it's funny, isn't it? Because it would be a sign of intelligence if they could at least say, well, yeah, you can, you know, it could be at least hold both in the mind rather than sticking to one.
Just like us, we're not invested in any particular horse. You know, it's you need to keep reiterating that to these people. They act as if we are part of their false dichotomy, part of their propaganda, when we're not. You know, it's just like, let's have a proper objective investigation. Let's get the thing set up. If you're serious about it, you're claiming you're a scientist and you're objective, let's get it done.
And the results would be, you know, measurable and acceptable.
Exactly. You know? And it can be recreated all over the world. If other countries could recreate the exact same fucking thing, and then there you go, there's your peer review, there's your, you know, double test, whatever.
But you're right though, there will constantly be distractions from that, and we see it so much just all the time. Whatever narrative's going on, it does drive people insane, I'm sure, because they're just so fragmented. You know, every effort is made, as you said, to avoid people coming, you know, to these fundamental
questions
and trying to establish some sense of reality. They just keep feeding you the bullshit.
It's been normalised that bewilderment and confusion is the standard state of the human being. You know, we don't know what the fuck's going on, we don't know what life's about or why we're here, and it seems to be just, you know, unconsciously accepted that that's the way it's supposed to be, or the way I mean, it's fucking bizarre. And I just don't feel that. I feel as if we should know. We've got the ability to know. You know, life doesn't have to be this big mystery that they make out. You know, we can have certainty in our position within this whole game here. You know?
Yeah. I suppose it ultimately leads to that question, you know, do you think or believe that there are a group of or certain people that know something, or is everyone just as confused as everyone else?
Nah. You know, no, it goes too far for me, Nick. As I say, it's meticulous, and for me, it's all centred around the room. It's all centred about, you know, there's no question in the room, having a false sense of orientation within the room. You know, it's all centred about that. For me personally, that's the way I see it. You know, that's how I make sense of the whole fucking shebang.
Right. So it's intentional, deliberate deception.
Yeah.
To what ends? Can you kind of relay how you think that might benefit whoever or whatever's doing that?
Well, this is the problem. I've been in the unknown. What else is out there? What agreements have been made under what conditions for what purposes? You know, is it, you know, even if I spoke about this before, is it something they consider to be to your benefit because there's other things going on out there that would maybe scare people, that would cause other conflict? There could be an endless amount, not to mention there could be other resources that they're usurping for themselves. There could be other areas that they're usurping for themselves just because the conditions that are there. There could be an endless amount of motives, you know, and that's the problem. you know. But as I say, motive doesn't detract from the fact that we're on a level, you know. So, and if we can get access, then we can establish what the motives would have been, you know.
Yeah, very true. I mean, you said it many times before that. Yeah, obviously there's a crime has been committed. Motives are kind of at the moment irrelevant, and we can't figure them. But it's like let's work out
the facts, aye, and take it a step at a time until you get to that point, you know.
Yeah. Because we do have it's a very short time, isn't it? You know, however many years have passed for each of us, it's just a blip now, and all of a sudden,
exactly.
There is this feeling that we got to work and push to get some answers, because
it's a war. It's a war. It's an information war. It's a war for people's attention, their will. You know, that's what it's about. You know, directing and misdirecting. So, and it's all based on the individual, their discernment, their free will. You know, and where they place their attention and their desire. So.
Yeah. So of course, in that sense, it's if we are creators and we're being and those possibilities are infinite, but we are being restricted in that, then there's someone somewhere's got a lot to answer.
Exactly. I mean, it could just be something simple like, why do we farm? Why do we keep animals within a pen? Because it's easier for us to get them. It's easier to access and to get them to partake in whatever we want them to partake in. That could just be the motive. It could just be keep them here because it's to your benefit. We don't need to do anything because these fucking idiots will build it for us. I mean, it can come down to the simplest of things. I really don't know, mate. As I say, all I know is that it's happening, and hopefully one day we'll find out the motive.
Yeah, for sure. And it's obviously, as the guy was saying just before, it's you really do, as a parent, you think about your kids and their future generations, and of course, you just want to do whatever you can to
free them.
Yeah.
I don't want them fucking shackled with all this shite. I don't want them have to fucking sit and contemplate all this bollocks and all the traumas that we've experienced through our lives and had to witness and all that shit. I don't want that for any of them.
And it's becoming increasingly difficult to I wouldn't say shield them from it is the wrong word, because obviously exposure to things is good. It's a learning process, but if for example they got a snippet 5-10 minutes of TV, then that's going to affect them. There's brainwashing going on from the state that will undermine.
Yeah, and you've got to keep on top of that, because it's the same here. Again, you get situations with the weather and things happen and they end up watching TV and whatever else, but you've just got to have a look, have a listen, what's going on, and speak to them about it. That's the best that that I can achieve. But as I say, I just don't. I'd like to think in the future people will look back at these times and think, fucking hell, that was the mentally ill period of human experience, and they get past us. But
of course, we're always fed this idea that we were clueless a couple of 100 years ago, and we've come along so far since then. And that just inflates the ego, and
and it's a false sense, because it's a total opposite. People are retarded from the way it was, and I feel that we hear all these stories about Socrates and Mozart and Beethoven and these icons that are put, and I feel like everybody was like that because people were liberated. I mean, even you look at things like the trivium, the quadrivium, these were mappings of understanding the human processes, the mind, language, music, art. It was all there. We had fucking sussed these things out. Something happened, and it's been fucking retracted through time to the point now where people are just fucking retards.
Yeah, man, that's a really good point. Yeah, especially considering the infrastructure that's in place, which obviously celebrated this, ability to create wonderful things and for music, for art, for vibration and all that stuff. Yeah, it was obviously,
Right. If you liberated human beings, gave them the tools of critical discernment, knowing how the apparatus works and how to express and utilise it, then every fucker would be a Socrates, every fucker would be a Mozart and a Beethoven and whatever else. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously, in a sense, they are just obviously the different things that people can do, whether it's gymnastics or mental gymnastics, whatever it might be. Sure, there's there are clues everywhere to this amazing ability that channeling through people.
But people are disconnected from it. They're not allowed to pursue those avenues. It's offered to us that it's only a few selects, like professional footballers or professional athletes. Like these are the icons for the future. But if everybody was free from the shackles of stress and anxiety and trauma, then everybody would be expressing, everybody would be, evolving internally and expressing it outwardly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sounds idealistic and fantastical, but that's the reality of the situation. If you nurture and you give the requirements to nurture, then you're going to yield quality results. If you stifle and restrict and poison and fucking blah blah, then what do you expect's going to fucking happen?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what's frustrating about this time right now. You've got people that have tried their best to kind of do the right thing as guidelines and all this stuff, but they're being stamped on, they're being shut down. And you would have thought that this is, whether it's the football teams aren't allowed to play anymore, or restaurants can't. Why aren't people just going, well, screw that, I'll do my own thing?
Exactly.
It's still not being, as we were talking about before, I was hoping that it's like, this would pop people awake because there's so much pressure, but
it's not going to pop them awake until it's fucking they're tasting it physically. That's just the reality, mate. It's the whole thing. You can lead a horse to water, analogy. Until they're drinking it, they know they're not going to accept it.
True, man. True. But I do know that we all sense with each other that this is, like you said, it's a fight, it's a struggle. Kind of on an individual thing as a collective as well.
Yeah.
For what's the word? Benevolent kind of reasons, not for any self gratification other than trying to leave this place a little bit better than we found it.
Exactly. For me, it's just about liberating things, freeing the shackles. Don't be scared to let us express and find the equilibrium through a natural process, rather than groups of fucking idiotic, insecure morons trying to usurp and control and dictate and play subjectivity against subjectivity in the objective arena and all this fucking craziness that's going on. And it makes you go infuriated because people like us can sit and have these discussions, yet we've got these rich, privileged motherfuckers that have no got the fucking sense to even think about it, running about fucking with authority and power. It fucking annoys me. Really does piss me right off.
Yeah. And because they've been brought up on a diet of concepts and models, and you might have a PhD in some idea, and then they can impress those ideas on entire nations because they got a PhD.
And the ruling classes, people think because they're the ruling class are somehow intelligent. No, they're just fucking inherited extreme wealth. They're fucking as thick as shit. Do you know what I mean? They don't deserve any respect. They're fucking morons.
Yeah. It's oh dear. Well, hopefully this little rant has shaken the tree a bit.
Well, it's made me feel a bit better anyway because I get rid of some of that fucking shit. It's good to spread the shit about. Have some of my shit,
But no, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because the more cultured a society is, the more kind of manners and things that it has. All of these are attempts to avoid reality, avoid that fact that we are just we got to eat and shit like everything else.
Exactly.
You know, so but it's funny, yeah. You know, the more we can kind of put up all this stuff around us and have little, you know,
delusions.
Yeah.
Little delusions.
Yeah. And so yeah, it becomes increasingly difficult. And now of course it's gone absolutely loopy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being clean, but for God's sake, you know. Jumping out of the way of someone on a footbath is
I know. Once your skin starts peeling off in layers, then I think you better stop. Do you know what I mean? What happened to the days of eating the muck because it helped your immune system? No. You have to wash the muck off now. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of it's sad, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you go and you know you're very conscious now of like going and paying.
Your sound went, Nick.
Sorry.
Your sound just all of a sudden went. Oh.
How's that?
Oh, you're back. You're back, aye.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Just paying for things by cash and things. You feel, you know that it's creating discomfort.
Yeah.
And you know, then you know they take your cash and then they immediately go for the hand sanitizer, and it's just. You know, you were doing that all your life. You probably, when you were a kid, you probably ate, stuck coins in your mouth and.
Aye.
Yeah.
Exactly, mate. And you're still here.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Listen, I'm gonna crack on. Got things to do. Lovely to catch up, man. Thank you.
You too, mate. As I say, I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks I'll be doing that neck of the woods, mate. So I'll hit you up. I'll give you a wee shout and come and see you.
Okay, brilliant. Because it looks like I'm stuck here for at least another month, minimum. Yeah. So
I'll definitely be doing before you go. I'll catch up with you.
Oh, that'd be great, man. That'd be great.
Good stuff, mate.
Okay, lovely. Catch up soon, mate. All right.
See you soon, bud. Take it easy, mate. Cheers. Alex, it'd be good if we can have that chat on Saturday, mate. I'm going to get off just now. You want to tell me about your mate, the engineer, and how he's trying to argue that plumb lines are no parallel, yada yada, which is absolutely insane. So it'd be good to hear that discussion you had, Alex, but as I say, preferably on Saturday. Just send me another email when I'm on Saturday evening and we can have that. Aye, I'm going to go off, people. I'll be back at the weekend. So again, if you want to join me, if you get something to offer, something to say, you'll need to send an email, and by the weekend I will set the phone up again, and I'll put the number at the top of the screen along with the email address, and you can access the live hangout through your phone if you please. So anyhow, cheers everybody, people in the chat, take care of yourselves.